This is great. In Biden's economy, not only is home ownership increasingly out of reach for Americans, even dating has become too expensive. Gen Zers, they're having to get very creative.
Cute and inexpensive date ideas. Go on a walk. You can talk, you can hold hands, you can look at the pretty sky. It's great.
Cheap dates aren't boring dates. So here's some cheap date ideas. Number 1, the park. The park is great because you can actually do so many things there.
Now, some are skipping the in-person part of dating altogether. One Gen Z are saying virtual first dates are less expensive because you don't have to worry about buying food and drinks, let alone the $30 Ubers there and back. They're also convenient. You could go on multiple dates in a day without leaving your house. Zoom dating, right up there with Zoom cocktail hour during COVID. Didn't you hate that? Joining me now is Isabel Brown, a Gen Z conservative, and Morgan McMichael, a single Gen Zer. All right, guys, what is explaining this? Let's go to, I think we'll go to Morgan first. Is this Bidenomics or just Gen Z laziness?
I honestly think it's Gen Z laziness. I can understand the cost increasing of going on dating, but when we look at our generation, 73% of us are feeling a sense of loneliness, and we're facing financial insecurities, anxiety, and stress. So I think my generation just needs to get out there and actually get some human interaction in there. And I really think, sure, the economy may be the case for some people, but I do think it's laziness, and people just want to go online and talk to as many people as they want.
Isabel, I have to say, I have a lot of young people working for me. I love having young people on staff. And repeatedly, the young gals in their 20s, they're complaining about the Gen Z men. They're too much into their looks. They're too much into themselves. Again, I'm going to say work-life balance. They're too much into that. And is that accurate, or am I getting a warped view because I'm listening to all these complaints day in and day out?
You know, so much of this, Laura, boils down to individual experiences. But what I think is phenomenally interesting is taking this to the generational level. That same Business Insider article that we just showed on the screen talks about how our generation at large is being very disillusioned with dating apps and with hookup culture that the left is trying to serve to us on a silver platter every day. And meanwhile, other surveys out there are showing that 93% of Gen Zers from across the spectrum still want to get married. For the first time ever in the last several years, the marriage rate is actually back up to pre-pandemic levels.
God.
As of just a few days ago. We're quitting our hormonal birth control. We're deleting those dating apps. And we're realizing we want so much more than what culture has to offer. As for Zoom calls and FaceTimes, you know, I think that's just a new version and a new venue for what young people have always been doing, talking to each other on the phone before they go on a date in person. And I find it really encouraging that our generation is longing for real human connection in the era of OnlyFans and pornography reigning supreme.
I think get off the screens. I mean, I don't know. Morgan, another blast from the past is growing in popularity with some Gen Zers. Speed dating. An article about the fad explains that how dating experts say speed dating is a great option for those looking to get off their phones and meet people who may shine more in person than they do online. I mean, everyone remembers the speed dating scene. I think it was in Sex and the City. It was hysterically funny. Maybe all hope is not lost for Gen Z. Speed dating is back.
Definitely not. Not all hope is lost for our generation. I think this is a great idea. You know, get women and men out there to meet multiple other singles in a human interaction way. Get off of the screens, get off of the dating apps. We've seen so many studies of how our generation is actually craving that interaction again, especially post-pandemic. And I think it's a great direct way in the next good direction.
I think you're both pretty optimistic, which is awesome. I mean, the worst thing is to hear like negative, negative, negative. I see the pendulum swinging back. You guys are rejecting the bad advice from, frankly, my generation, and you're finding that back to basics maybe is a good thing. Isabel and Morgan, come back soon. Great to see you both. All right, that is it for us tonight in LA. Do not forget.